might just kind of throw it out there before Nick and I get started. We sent out a little bit of a kind of a step-by-step guidelines, things, things to prepare. Are there any things that have come up that we can answer or you would like for us to address other than, other than just like walking through the process so that we'll know what to focus on as we go through it?
Where did you send out that list?
Actually, Eddie sent it out. And let's see, I'm trying to think. I had to do a share screen.
Put it in the chat.
I think he sent it out yesterday, just talking about let's build a Facebook ad. Basically what it was just saying, as far as if you wanted to kind of walk through this, just know what your login is, have your marketing profile set up, your business page with Facebook, and then like campaigns, your payment information. Again, and not knowing where everybody is right now, we just want to make sure that we're addressing your needs and you're kind of walking through this. If it gets to the point we can meet with you after, we're available to, it's your free will to kind of follow up and help answer some questions, over and beyond where we are right now. And understand that we're coming into this, I think the team of ambassadors are coming into this, that we just want to, we're as new as you are in most cases. We just have volunteered to kind of learn what we can and share that with the Market Center. So that's kind of where we are right now. Probably the best place, Nick, and did you want to share anything at this point?
No, I was just going to say, Jim, if you want, I can forward that to you real quick.
That's it. Thank you.
That'd be super. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that.
Thank you. That's a good point.
Jim Bartz at KW.
And if you guys have questions as we go, you can just raise your hand, or I think we've got a small enough group that we can just walk through all of this and make it easy on everybody as we go. What I'd like to start out, I'm gonna share my screen. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen with you now.
Off of here.
Which I have.
On there, it would be off of here. Shouldn't be going to both places.
What I've got.
And now.
Sorry. Why don't we start out? Probably the easiest way to start out here is just, and I'll just go ahead and start logging in, and it's agent.kw.com login, and that will get, for those of you who, again, not knowing where you are, this is just logging into Command, and at the login of Command, you can see that your normal command comes up, and where we're going to spend most of our time on is you go over here to the left. You can see, home, contacts, of course, tabs, smart plans, referrals, and then where we're going to.
Are you on share screen, Ron?
Is that sharing? Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, I can.
Jim?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
All right.
So where we're planning on going right here and spending most of our time today is going to be in the campaigns area, and couple of different things. One of the things I sent out that we sent out in that list. Hold on just a second. That we sent out in the list yesterday. Depending again if you're new or brand new, I want to quickly look at this. Was to make sure that your Facebook is connected with Command. I'm going to move some of this around. Whoops, I'll move some of it around just to make sure that your Command and Facebook profiles are connected. And really, that's just as simple as you can see here. We've got connected. We have Jack and Terry's connected, and then if you kind of scroll down, you can see this is where we will do the ads manager. You'll want to make sure that that's connected to your business page within Facebook. So those are the two, those are the two areas to make sure that, you know, if you're going to do Facebook ads, that those two are connected for not only social, just general social posting, and then also some of the paid ad campaigns. We'll go into that in just a second as well.
And Ron, real quick, if you guys ever want to do the advanced paid ad, see where Ron has the Google AdWords and Terry's connected. That's another paid kind of thing. I don't think we're really going to talk about that at all today, but that's another paid version, and that's just doing ads on Google. But that's like an advanced kind of class.
Down here, and you can see these are more or less the social. Twilio. When you get into smart plans and other programs, Twilio is one that enables command to send out text messages to your clients, to leads, things like that. And then I don't have I've got our Twitter Ads Manager connected, but I don't have our normal, I'm sorry, I don't have our Twitter ads account
I don't either.
hooked up. You can or can't. We really spend, what we've heard from most of the social media experts is that really Facebook is probably the #1 area that you want to have connected, and you'll spend most of your time. And you can also do it, I believe, with Instagram as well. We don't spend much time on Twitter. So I'm gonna go ahead and back out of that and then drop down to the campaign section.
Ron,
Yes, please.
I do have a business Facebook page, and I have connected it to my web.
Okay.
So what else would I need to click on in the campaigns area to, I guess, get command attached to the business Facebook page? What did you click?
Let me quickly go back to that.
Sorry.
Debbie. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Let me just run back to that. If you have Facebook, in other words, if you have your normal Facebook scheduling, you actually have 2 Facebook areas that you can do. One is the Facebook, and you can schedule those to go out at certain times. And most of that is with just your general social media. It's not paid for. In other words, that's your free advertising on Facebook. And then the Ads Manager is what ties into your Facebook business page, okay? So it sounds like that you've got everything connected that you would need to have so far.
Okay, I didn't have that Facebook ads page
Okay, gotcha. I see what you're
connected.
saying.
I didn't have that piece connected.
Okay, so that actually is the one that you'll want to connect in order to send out some of the paid advertising that we're going to do this afternoon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, once you get that done, otherwise if you try to do it, it'll come up as an error and it'll tell you it's not connected. So that's really, I think that's really what, the simple part of that. And that's as easy as to connect as some of the other ones, or as the other Facebook. So let's go into campaigns. And you'll see in the campaign section, up above in the sections, you have just your dashboard, which talks about, some of the available campaigns that you have, some of the ones that you have done in the past 30 days. In our case, I'll just say past 12 months. And what this does is it gives you statistics about what your ads are doing, how much you've spent, the different number of leads that you've received, and such, so forth. In the then you have paid ads, and this is where we'll spend some time. We also have emails, an email campaign, direct mail campaign, and then this is the one that I was talking about that you can send out. Like this would be maybe something out to your sphere that you just wanted to make a note about what's going on in the neighborhood or some of the neighborhoods. But I'm going to back up right now and go to the paid ad campaign. And in this particular area, you can see these are some of the ones that we've done, different ones that we've done in the last couple of months, things like that. And I think the easiest place to get started is right here in the create a new campaign. So if you go up in the upper right-hand corner of your command web site dashboard, you can see now it says choose a different type of campaign that you want. So you have a social ad. This would be a paid ad within Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You could do one under Gmail, or I'm sorry, not Gmail, but Google. You can do just a normal social post, direct mail, and then email. Like I say, the one that I want to make have us spend our time on today is going to be the social ad. And if I click this, what comes up is you're going to create this and name it. In this particular case, I'm going to just call it listing. And a lot of times what I would suggest, if you call it a listing and put a note behind it as to like an address name. In other words, I'm going to go with a new listing that we just started today, actually, Gull Lake. And what I'll do is, one other thing is I want to do the pool, because I want to make that a default picture for the ad itself. And then, so then it asks here, what's your goal? In our case, we can either advertise a listing, we can attract more listings, sometimes you may do brand awareness. Like if you want to, from time to time, we may put something out that talks about something that the Real McCoys have done on a, like our small business person of the year award. So we would send something like that. And it's more of a brand awareness. You can do it for recruiting. Again, depending on where you are, event awareness or advertising multiple listings. In this case, I'm going to say let's attract buyers, okay? And in picking this, what I want to do is I want to do it on Facebook. Like you say, you have the option of Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. But in this case, we're trying to attract buyers. You're trying to attract leads, buyer leads, basically, is what it is. And through Facebook advertising. And I'm going to stop there really quick. Something that always is we get into command and we're all at different points in our business, right? The one thing that I wanted to make sure that you understand is that this is the coolest thing in the whole wide world. And Nick, I think we've talked about this in some of our seminars that are in some of our technology sessions, is that this puts you at the exact same level as any other agent that's out there. Do you understand that? Because what happens is everybody that's using command and doing Facebook advertising is doing exactly what you're doing. And what I'm saying is that, you can compete. When I say as far as attracting leads, you can compete with anybody in our office or somebody else out there in a same level playing field that they're doing, because they're using the same command program too. And the platform is the same platform that Keller Williams has with Facebook throughout the whole nation. So to look at it and say, well, how do I compete with the bigger teams in the world? Well, you're doing it just like this. And I think that's a really important point to remember as you're going into this, why it is, I think why it's so important to do this on an ongoing basis.
Yes.
So as we're looking at this, what comes up when we create? So we're in the beginning right here. If you notice up here, we're talking about starting our campaign. And the cool part about this, the way that the command Facebook is set up, is that everything here is just a check mark. In other words, all you have to do is follow the check marks. So, for example, name and goal. We've already named it, listing, Gull Lake, pool, as we stated over here. So what I'm going to do over here is this right here the next step that we will do actually goes into the multiple listing service of basically every multiple listing service around the country, as KW is tied into virtually everyone out there. So what you're seeing initially are some of the listings that we've recently had. So in other words, the ones that generally come up, and understand, if you don't have a listing and you want to advertise a listing, ask somebody in their office if you can promote it. You see what I'm saying? So it's a privilege to be in an office of 450 agents, because you can go to any agent in that office and ask them if they mind you advertising their listing, because all you're trying to do is pull buyers into that, or buyer leads. So that's the cool part about this, is that, you know, you have that opportunity. And, you know, the other part about this is that, for example, if you want to advertise in California, you can actually do an ad campaign in California. So that's the beauty of you know, the Keller Williams Command program, is that it's a national program. You do what you want. In this particular case, I'm gonna type in Gull Lake, and it should come up. In this case, no records found. So,
I've noticed sometimes you have to put in the number.
gotcha.
Not every
Okay.
time. I don't know.
So let's see. In this, thanks, Nick. That's helpful.
Sure.
So in this case, it's 2728. Just type in Gull. Okay. So
Just to click, I'm not gonna actually put it out there.
2728. All right. So no records found. Let's see all listings, if that happens to come up. It just went live this morning, so for whatever reason, it may not like quickly be in there.
Right.
Let's just see. Sometimes it,
Just get the address and it's already built.
Lake Road,
I think that this right here takes.
that's not it.
And then you can add. So,
Let's try this.
friendly 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Oh,
First thing,
let's see.
when I read
Sorry.
this, I'm like,
Bear with me. Ridgedale. Ridgedale Drive. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna actually have to change this one. This one was one that we recently did. It's Ridgedale Drive, and I'm gonna select that, and I think. Yeah, I think I can change. I think I can change this. See, the nice part about this is that you can change it on the fly.
I think they get different agents.
So
Same classes up there.
save name and goal. And so what we're doing here, what happens when you pick one of your own listings or one of the listings, everything will come up that you have posted in there in the notes section. And so it's pulled, you know, in other words, it's pulled everything up here based on the listing information, the listing notes. And what you want to make sure that you do in any Facebook ad really is two things. One, you want to limit the information that you put in there. And then two, you want to make sure that your headlines are captivating. In other words, it leaves something to, you know, to the end user to say, hey, you know what, as you're scrolling down through 100 different, not 100, you know, scrolling down through as many listings as you can, something that captures their attention. And in this case, this one came up here, and let's come back down here and talk about the ad text. This is the main copy that's going to come up. And I think with this particular one that we end up, we can probably just we can probably just go here. And I think that's going to be plenty. Again, it takes a little bit of trial and error to find out what are the headlines, what are the words that are going to captivate somebody and have them stop. So in this case, we talk about a headline, meaning,
And
go ahead,
Terry,
Nick. I'm going to type this in.
sure. I'll say one thing that it sounds kind of strange, but if even on yours, if you Google emoji keyboard, because a lot of these bigger agents are just people in general, whenever they see emojis next to the main copy or the headline, for whatever reason, it really works, like because it makes it seem more personable. So we've been doing that a lot on our, emoji keyboard, just even that,
Gotcha.
that first one. And
Well, let me back.
yeah, go back to all,
Yeah.
and then go down to like the,
Like this one.
Uh-huh.
Anyone. Oh,
Right.
emoji keyboard.
online. Sure, do that one.
Let's try.
I don't even know which one I do. But anyways, if you can highlight it and copy one of the emojis, like the
Gotcha.
smiley face with hearts or emoji of a house. For whatever reason, whenever you do this, people are saying that you get a lot more clicks
Gotcha. Okay.
because it makes it more personable in some way. So that's just kind of a trick that we've learned.
That's funny because I was listening to, I was actually listening to Lori Ballin this
Ballin?
morning.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the okay. That actually was one of the things that she talked about.
Yeah, it's so strange, but I guess it works.
Let's see. For the purpose of this, just I'm gonna do the main. Let's see how this does this. Okay. And let's see. Leave it at that. So we'll save the ad text, and you can see now as we're continuing to go down through this, it'll give me another check mark, and I'm gonna say, there we go. And on this particular one, the page is Real McCoy's Realty, Terry McCoy. That's just which one it pulls. That tells me that some people have multiple business pages. Not quite sure why, but this particular one, this will go to our Real McCoy's Realty business page. Is what I did in that drop down. So, question a lot of times comes up about, okay, so do I use the Facebook lead generation form, or do I use a site or a landing page? As many of you know, we have the opportunity to create the neighborhood landing pages if you want to be real specific. What we've learned is that if you use the Facebook lead generation form, that's the one that they have to fill out before they get more information. Okay. or if they want, if they want more information about the home or about, this particular one. And I'll go back and I'll tell you a couple other things that I learned, have learned over the last several weeks that kind of again, you don't want to give everything. You want to make sure that you leave just enough out there that they have to ask you for more. The lead generation form that Facebook uses is great. Simple, they can go through there, click it, or if you have them use a site like your information form that we have in our websites. The one thing that you'll find is you're going to get more leads probably from the Facebook lead generation form than you will from a custom site or a custom landing page. The quality may not be as good on the Facebook, but at least you're going to get more. And one of the numbers that I know that has been used, you practically have to get 100 leads in order to get one qualified candidate that's going to close. Those are some statistics that we've heard. So what we want to, is we click down through here, sign up, apply now, this depending on the program or depending on what you want, is really we just want to learn more. So that's the easiest one to do. And what we find out here is that, okay, so what's a destination URL? Well, really, after they complete the information, where are they going to go? That's kind of what that URL, destination URL is. Well, you can send them to your website, or you can send them to, maybe we have created a landing page for this neighborhood or for this home specific to Ridgedale. And what happens here is that these are some of the landing pages that we've created. Maybe you want to send them to your, hold on just one second, to your app. That's another thing that, it's a whole different program, but you could send them to download your app, your search app in Command. So in this particular case, we send them generally just to our website, which is mymccoys.com. So that's where we'll send them. And I could have, put that in there. In this, so kind of where we are right now is now the next part about this is that, I'm sorry, the ad targeting, I was trying to think, understand that Facebook has a mind of its own. It's its own genius, to be quite honest with you. And in this particular case, it recommended Plano and 20 miles. A lot of times what you'll do is, what I've found or what we've heard is that instead of customizing it, kind of go with what Facebook recommends if that feels good to you. You see what I'm saying? And it'll come up on our budget as well. And I'll show you what I'm talking about there.
And I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, because they're going to recommend they're going to recommend the best for Facebook. In other words, and if it's the best for Facebook, consequently, or not consequently, but it's also going to be best for you because they're going to give you the most exposure, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Or you could actually come in here and do custom settings and target your own location and do all this, change expert targeting. But for the most part, within a 20-mile radius of Plano is where this Facebook ad is going to go, is going to be right there. So down, let me move this. So down here, you can see the duration and budget. I'm trying to, here we go. I'm gonna pull this up so you can see it better. So the next part about this is duration and budget. Facebook actually is recommending 10 days at $3 or $30. If that's not in your budget, that's perfectly fine. They're saying probably, we could start this campaign today and run it for 10 days. Or we could say 7 days, and then move that, move that August the 15th down to the 22nd, for example. And our campaign budget is, you can go up or down. As you can see, I'm moving the amount either higher or lower, so that on a daily average per channel, you're only going to spend $2.86. In other words, once you have spent that $2.86 that day, Facebook will shut down, more or less, will shut down it going to, you know, the places that you have on your demographics. Does that make sense? So in this particular case, I'm gonna go back to what Facebook recommended, and that was 10 days, $30. Oops. Yeah, we're good. 10 days at $30. And I'm going to save that for the duration in the budget. So now we have the opportunity to review it and make sure, you know, if we got stopped in the middle of it, we can review it, or we can actually publish it. I'm going to save this one as a draft and then kind of come back and answer some questions. But in saving this as a draft, you just make sure that everything's good by you, and you can come back and then publish it. And then what will happen is that when you publish this to Facebook, it generally takes about 24 hours for them to review all of the content and the photos and everything, and then they will finally release it. That's why you saw over here that the earliest that this can start is tomorrow. So it's not like you can have an open house today and, you know, run out and do a quick Facebook Live open house campaign today. If you have an open house, you need to plan at least a day or so ahead. And then once they approve it, it will then be released. So like I said, I'm going to save this as a draft right now, and just understand that it's sitting right here, waiting for us to finish up. What I'd like to do right now is maybe just open up the floor and answer any questions that may have come up to this point, if there are any.
Well, I have a couple.
Okay.
On the duration and budget,
Yes.
is it tied to whatever credit card or mode of payment that you've
Yes.
set up over in Facebook business page?
Yeah, here. No, actually it's tied together. And I meant to show up. If you'll go up to the very top next to create a budget,
Okay.
payments, this actually comes out of your KW account. Your I think it's Market Street. I think it's through Market Street. In other words, I'm going to double click on this, and hold on just a second. Let me move this down a little bit. What you do, Debbie and everyone else, that's a good question. Thanks for asking. Yeah. This is where we put our credit card information. Okay. You'll add this, and if I want to, you see the three little dots up here. If I want to delete that, I can delete it. If I want to, in other words, I know this is the visa. I'll just delete that one. But I can also come in here and add another credit card with all my information here. Either set it as a default or set it as a second option. So this is the one that we'll leave right up here. And then what happens is on a monthly basis, see we've got these credits here. It tells you how much is in your bank account as far as payment. So you can put as much as you want or as little as you want, or as you go type thing into your bank, so to speak, into your credits. So that's a good question.
So are you prepaying? I mean, because I don't have any remaining credits.
I think we canceled one or something. We've got,
Oh.
we have some put in there. From time to time, the Market Center will give you a little bit, like we're on the tech committee, so we get a little bit each month for doing some of the tech work, and things like that. So credit wise, yeah, like if you can't, I'll give you another example, and we've done this too. If you had a Facebook campaign set up, I'll tell you two ways. If you had a Facebook campaign set up and maybe you had several of them scheduled and paid, and you decided to cancel that comes back as a credit because it's already taken the money. Or in the event that you set up a Facebook budget for a day and it doesn't, in other words, you had it for 7 days and you want to stop it after 3 days, you've already paid for that 7 days. So it's going to drop a credit back into your account. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so in essence, you prepay. If you said you wanted to run it for 10
Yep.
days and you
Yes.
ran it for 2 and you just weren't getting any hits, you
Exactly.
thought, or the house came off the market, whatever happened,
Perfect. Yep.
you
That's
prepaid
exactly.
it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then the second question I had, and maybe I just didn't listen closely enough on some other communication. It was my understanding that on Facebook, you can't use photos that are in MLS. Is that a true statement?
I'm not aware that you cannot use photos that are in the MLS. And the reason
Yeah.
I say that is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, you keep going.
Reason I say that is that the photos that you have in the MLS are what are pulled from the MLS when you do remember when the very first part of that where it said pick an active listing and you typed in the
Right.
active listing, it pulls it right from the MLS.
Okay.
I think, Debbie, what you might be saying, well, maybe not. If it's like somebody else's listing, you can't like use their photos.
So if I get permission from someone for their listing, does that give me permission for their pictures as well?
It is, and I would make sure
Okay.
that they send you an email giving you permission. Just so you have it
Good
right.
point.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
Yep. So, and where I am right now, again, talking about the payment section, this is a good metrics for all the, I'm going to click over here to campaigns. This is the good metrics for everything that you do. In other words, these are some of the ones that we've run in the last, I guess in our lifetime. Sorry, I thought we had more than that we actually ran. There should be some other ones in there. But these are some of the ones that we've run. The thing that you want to look at primarily is your CPM and your cost per, they call it cost per milli or cost per thousand, is like, these are generally what you're going to set up as far as the budget. Okay. And then this particular one is cost per click, CPC. And you can kind of look in there. Some work, some don't. You see what I'm saying? So we've received some down to 19 cents, and we've also had some as high as 50 cents. In other words, and then in the spend, you can see where the spend is and then what our budget was for that time. Probably another area to go. Let's go back to the kind of the dashboard for campaigns. And again, going into paid campaigns, it should be right there on the dashboard as well. That same information. In other words, this is kind of how you want to look, and you can sort these as you see on that little, there it is. Takes a little while to catch itself. These are some of the more costly ones. In other words, cost per lead is like, this is $10. We got 3 leads. And this one, we got 2 leads. No leads on this one. We got 60 leads on this one. Of course, we spent $100, but cost per lead was still only $1.67. And I recall this one because it was one of those that we went with what Facebook had recommended, even though it was up to $100. And you can see the number of clicks and the number of impressions that we got. And we got 60 leads out. Whoops. We got 60 leads out of that particular one. And even though and these were, when you click on that, this tells you the number or who the leads were that typed in all their information. And then that's where you take this information under the contacts, and you can download those into, actually they should already be in your contact section, your command contact section, but you can also do the CSV file. I'm going to go back just one second, sorry. You can also do the CSV file for those particular campaigns and just take those ones out of there, or pull those ones out of there and use them on a call list. I'll go back to this as well. On this particular one, like I said, this is the one that we, that we still had $2.27 per lead. We got 22 leads out of this one. And then and then going down through here, you can just kind of see. So again, I want to come back to this one. Oh, there it is. If you come, that's what I was trying to look for. I'm sorry. If you want to take and download these leads, you come over here to the 3 dots, and then you can see you can either archive the campaign, refresh the leads, do a duplicate campaign, or you can download the CSV. And over here, for example, we can then take that list, and it comes up on my Excel and tells me which leads those are for that campaign. Sorry. Hey, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. It's not coming to me here. Like if I want to download the information about those 22 leads, is that, when I click on it, it goes here, which is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, I want to download these guys. So if I click over here and
like export them.
Yeah.
If you see where it says select bulk action,
Yes.
click that.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Export contacts down.
It looked like it was great at, there.
Yeah.
It's down here, export. So the other thing too, everyone, is this is where you can just set them up on a smart plan. You can have a Facebook smart plan, and we'll go into that, at another time. But you can set them up on an immediate smart plan, which keeps you in touch with them, on an ongoing basis. You can have this for a week, you can have it for 2 months, you can have it for 2 years, but you can immediately do a bulk smart plan if you have one to Facebook right here. Like if I wanted to add them to a Facebook lead, then I would select the add to smart plan. And this is one, there's a couple of different ones that you can do through here. We created one here that gives 15 touches, 33 steps. But that's the more important part of it. And like you'll always hear, that's actually the gold. That's actually the gold or the wealth in your campaigns, is the follow-up. And it's really hard to follow up. So anything that you can automate and just kind of keep it out there is way going to be, better than just trying to think about calling them on a daily basis. Because that's really what it, that's really what it boils down to, is number one, an immediate call, and number two, an ongoing touch to them, whether it be a call, an email, or a text.
Ron, on one of those campaigns that you had clicked on, I can't remember
Yes.
which one it was, something showed up in primary address.
Okay.
So is there something that, as you're developing the ad, that you can put on the front end to say, hey, this field is a requirement? Or they can give you only as much or as little information as they feel like?
Let's see, Debbie, in that particular case, you can, Facebook has a template that they ask for, X amount of information. And it's pretty straightforward: name, address, email. It already captures your email. And it actually may already, how you click on that and said sign in with Facebook? A lot of times people don't even know they're doing it. It just pops up. So it generally will pick your name and email address and telephone number based on Facebook, because it's so immediate and so easy.
Yeah. And
So
that's what that lead capture form is. Like when
Right.
you're generating the lead, where it says lead Facebook capture or lead form, that's like what Ron is saying. Whenever they say, yes, I want more information, your information's already pre-populated. So I think if to add the actual mailing address, that is an add-on that they do.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have to double check that over in your Facebook business page to make sure you've
No.
got, okay.
It automatically all comes over to your Facebook business page.
Okay,
and
thanks.
And then pre-fills in what you just saw on that previous page that I was showing. I think I went back out of it. On that previous, where it had their name, their email address, and their telephone number. That is already comes right over to your business page and goes right into command.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, any other questions, Nick? Can you think of some things? Because we kind of just, and this is all recorded, by the way. So if you guys have any questions, I've got make sure you put 2 areas, again, depending on where you are. Scott Leroy Marketing, write that down. Scott Leroy Marketing, SCOTTLEROY SLM, marketing is free to you. And for those of you that are brand new, you may be familiar with Scott Leroy in that they are the ones that do all the onboarding for marketing to help set up your website and kind of the technology part of it, that our market center purchases, their services on behalf of you as an agent. So you have 100% freedom to communicate with them via text, email, support at scottleroymarketing.com, or make a telephone call. And they will absolutely, and that's where we go for a lot of this information, to kind of get new information or updated information, is through Scott Leroy. So make sure you write that down or keep it handy. And they've got videos and they have people to talk to, and they're there for you. If you're at a point where you just want more education. The second part about that is that, like I said, Nick and I, and there's I think a team of about 15 of us that are the ambassadors for our market centers. So, feel free to reach out to us to assist you in areas that, maybe you're uncertain on, to, kind of walk you through some of the means of campaigns, or whether contacts or opportunities. And we'll be more than happy to either walk you through it, or more importantly, attend the seminars. We have multiple seminars a week during our, during Fridays like this, or during the week, that, that we go over different topics. And then finally, if you go on YouTube, another good area, this guy has been doing this since they introduced Command 2.5 years ago, Marty Miller. I don't know if you're familiar with Marty Miller, but subscribe to his channel. And he's a KW agent down in Houston, Texas, that has put together multiple series of like short snippet, like 2 minute, 3 minute. They're just really simple, easy to follow. You can kind of stop him and start him and stop him and start. I've done Marty now for going on 2 years to learn more and more, or to get more experience in what I don't quite understand, kind of like landing pages, things like that, and make sure that you utilize that as well. So that's the cool part about this, all of this process, is there's so much there. I think the only thing that we would ask that you do is just do a little bit of it, spend a little time each day, play with it, because you're not going to break it. It's like I said, over here we did different Big B programs and things like that. You gotta find out what works best and what is going to bring you the most benefit or ROI for the money that you're spending.
Hey, Ron, how did you download the leads that came into a CSV?
Okay, if you go into the paid ads, like go into your paid ads, and then let's see. If you come over here, Jim, like you can see under this CPLC, these are leads, basically the leads per click, or click per lead.
Right.
There it is.
Right.
If you go over there and then actually click on the number, like this 22, go to contact leads, click on that number, and that'll take you to another, it'll open up another page, and it'll list all of those leads. So here's the number, telephone number, the primary email, when they were updated. And you'll also come over here and click on the icon, or not the icon, but the check sheet.
Yes.
That says name. So you're going to click all of them. And then it looks like it's grayed out. And this is where I had to ask Nick. It looks like it's grayed out. Go to select bulk action, and then click down on that, and drop down to the next to the last one, and it says export contacts, and that'll export that to a CSV file.
And that'll export just the ones that you've selected?
Just the ones that are in that particular program, yes.
Okay.
In other words, I'll go ahead and click it, but it should be.
No, I understand now.
Yeah, so.
And that would be the same if I did any sort on any tag, is that correct?
Correct.
I could go to bulk action.
Yeah. Oh, certainly, yes, you can do that for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Does that help? Okay.
Yes.
Do these leads that come from Facebook automatically, all of them go into command, or is there another step that?
Nope,
an agent
they should automatically go into command. If for some reason, Debbie, that you don't see they go into command, that might be a next step to look at, but they should go right into command. In other words, they'll populate command, and they'll come in, I think they come in, Nick, am I correct, like Facebook lead? Just it's a general term.
Yeah.
I think it comes into command as in other words, category Facebook lead or tag Facebook lead. And then you can go in the search column and search all your Facebook leads and list those, and then put them all on a smart plan at one time if you want to.
Yeah.
Do they come in based on the campaign? Do you know which leads came off of which campaign?
They used to not do that, and they're starting to do that, but I think that there's a couple of hiccups in it still.
Okay.
I don't think we're quite there yet.
Okay.
There's been a request to do that. In other words, like for Ridgedale, I want to know which ones came in for Ridgedale, or which ones came in for Hedgecoats or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think we're quite there yet. That's where you can set a different tag. In other words, like an open house, for example, if you didn't open house, you just tag them all, they'll come in as a lead. I'm sorry, Facebook lead, but you can tag them as, whatever the address is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see, anything else? I was just trying to think of other items that maybe we could bring up. right
I
now.
was gonna say, you do want to do this going through Command instead of doing your own through Facebook,
Yes.
because Command is treating Keller Williams as one giant organization. So they're charging us less money. They're putting us out further. So if like Ron and Terry were on their own, or me is on my own, we're two very, very, very small clients compared to the size of what Keller Williams is overall. So you definitely want to do these ads this way that Ron just taught you and not do it through your own Facebook.
That's an excellent, yeah, Nick, that's an excellent point. As a matter of fact, Terry and I were talking about that today. And I was talking about it with my daughter, who does a lot of social media, that we actually broke, back 2 years ago, we as in Keller Williams actually broke the model that Facebook had. Because what was happening is that I think there used to be a cap of like 30,000.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was going on is they couldn't handle us, is what it boiled down to. So the executives with Keller Williams Technology, executives with Facebook got together, and they developed actually a separate platform. I'll call it a separate platform. They changed the platform design for Keller Williams, because now you have Keller Williams as the umbrella, and you have 180,000 agents going, it's 180,000 feeds into that one Keller Williams, which is far greater than anything they as in Facebook had ever seen. So that's a really good point. Thus, with what more importantly to you as as an agent going through Command, keeps your cost way down on a cost per click, and you get greater exposure, much greater exposure.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, this is Pierce. I had a question. I know that, I know I'm kind of late to the,
No, good. Thanks for coming on, Pierce.
kind of late in asking this question, but you went to the section where you grabbed data listings. So, for instance, say if I wanted to go up to Prosper and take a picture of a spec house that was coming on the market,
Okay.
I know I'd have to probably go up there and take the picture, but how would I build it out without, going to pull a list, say it's not on the market?
Oh, I see what you're saying. In other words, let's say you had your own steakhouse. I'm sorry, you had your own picture.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Good question.
A builder is going to let you market it, but you don't have any information on it to pull from.
You can do that. You can actually do that this way. If you go up here, I'll just call it steakhouse, test, whatever. And for anyone, it's 1 o'clock. If you want to stay on, stay on. We'd love to have you. I'll try to walk Pierce through this, but you can stay on as well, because what this does, and this will actually come up. So let's say we set up a test campaign, and we didn't want to use this. We didn't want to use a listing. What we can do, hold on just a second, is, let me, I actually thought there was a way in which, and I think there is, just, sorry. I'm not going to hold everybody up. There is a way in which we can take this, Pierce, and upload just like a separate picture.
Right.
Nick, are you familiar?
I was wondering that, and I don't know, honestly.
Okay, all right. There is.
I've never seen like the
there is a way to do it, because I've done it before, and I apologize. It may be this page. Yes, I want to leave. I want to try it. Let's try this again.
I would think that there'd be like a button that you could just hit upload, and it would.
There is.
And you could pick it out.
X, Y, Z. And let's see, return question. I think it's under other, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see. Wow, okay. Pierce, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to get back with you
Oh,
on
that's fine. That's fine.
You can do it. I've done it before. I just can't do it right now. And I know you can. Let's see.
Is it that it might be a picture that you've gone over and designed and you've saved that picture as part of your own
Yeah.
library?
Yeah. Darn. All right. I'll get this back out. I'll get this back out to everybody. But there is a way to do that because I know we've done it before. I'm just not pulling up the correct information. Pierce, I've got, for anybody else that wants that information, we'll send them out.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yep.
If you could add me to that
Sure, Debbie.
list as well, it's DEBORAH .Hendricks with an X at KW.com.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure that out. It's pretty simple. I just, like I say, I don't want to sit here and just go back and forth on that. But that's a good question. Because like that's one that, like, sometimes you may want to, and just little tricks that we know, you know, maybe with the way COVID is right now, everybody's looking for a pool. And I'll just share with you some things that are coming up. You may just want to advertise the pool. In other words, show the pool as like we've done here. And that's what I did on this one to compare. You may just want to show like I said, show the pool and say, and another thing that we learned over the last couple of days talking with some of these tech experts is that don't put the address. So pool address in Ridgeview Ranch. How, you know, and the headline reads, how would you like to cool yourself in Ridgeview Ranch? And then that's keeping a little bit something out there. It's playing games, but it's what'll stop people. Things like that. So, like I say, these are some tricks that we're going to work on that we just learned this week, you know, when we set in on another technology class. Okay. All right. If nobody has any additional questions, we'll get that backed out to everybody on the default picture instead of the listing picture. All right. So.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.